Now, for decades, Monty Roberts has been training horses across the world, communicating with them in a non-verbal language. He's known as the real horse whisperer. Now 83, he's still doing it, and his most important client is the Queen. This month he's been at Sandringham training Her Majesty's young racehorses. When I met him today at a nearby farm, he told me how it had all started watching wild mustangs as a boy.
If you go in here and give them a nice little rub and then walk away, oh, they say he's not a predator. It happens that when you work with the mustangs, they only have a language between themselves, so you must learn that language in order to communicate with them. And it's not a language of sound. It's like signing for deaf people. And so this means one thing, that's very different. This is extremely different. And here's the opposite end of the spectrum, like that. And I learned about where your eyes are, where your shoulders are, your fingers, and so forth. And sure enough, they taught me what to do. Very good. Bring him right around now. He's going to want to run home.
You're here in Norfolk working with the Queen's horses at Sandringham. Is it the same when you're dealing with racehorses?
There's differences because they've been bred in a certain way and they have abilities that are unique to themselves. However, a horse is a horse is a horse. All I care about is that they become pleased with the effort, that they are not treated with any violence, and that they go to the races with a chance to prove that for millions of years they wanted to beat everybody else out of the meadow when the lion came. That's how racing started.
It's interesting you talk about non-violence with racehorses because, of course, when we watch the races, we see a lot of the whipping, don't we, going on. Is that something that you disapprove of?
Stupidest thing man has ever done, to whip a flight animal. Of course it doesn't help. You can scare a horse with whips and cause them to run a little faster for a time or two. Then they get into it, and it bothers them. It knocks them off stride. It is not effective.
You've been working with the Queen's horses for a long time now. You have a long-standing friendship with the Queen. How important has that been to you?
Well, not very important, huh? Just changed my life completely. I was a cowboy from California. I still am a cowboy from California. And the Queen got in touch with me and wanted me to come to Windsor Castle and work with horses in the riding hall at Windsor Castle. And then Her Majesty said, there must be a book. Okay. Now it's sold 6.5 million copies. And Her Majesty simply says, I knew it all the time. She just amazes me. She is the #1 world leader for good that this globe has ever seen, or maybe will ever see.
Monty Roberts talking to me this afternoon. That's all for now. Coming up next, the weather with Julie. Have a good night.